Good morning. How's everybody? Okay, I gave you a whole extra hour to wake up. How are you this morning? Hey, all right, 3 of you woke up. Sweet. My name is Mike. You haven't seen me up here in a while because I've been back there, but I'm up here just introducing you to the day. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We've seen a lot of new faces over those past couple of months, so bright lights, I can't see you now, but I just want to extend a welcome to you. You're coming in the middle of a series, but you'll be caught up right away with it. First off, though, for those of you who've been in the room for a few weeks now, you've probably seen a bit of a rivalry happening back and forth between Timmy, he's over there, and Luke, who I don't think is in the building anymore. He ran away. Where Timmy and Luke are, they're best friends, but they're best frenemies maybe, and there's some comparisons going on. And now that I'm up here doing a VAC, I figure I should get in on that rivalry, or at least kind of participate with it. So I know that Luke drives a Porsche, right? Porsche. And I just want to say that I drive just as well as Luke with my Honda. And so they're the same. They're perfectly normal. Well, he would win. Anyway, and then Timmy, he's wearing another one of those shirts that went through the dryer 85 times. So my wife was not willing to shrink my clothes, so I bargained with her, and she's going to let me fill out my shirts by just eating Thanksgiving meals every day from here on out. So we will be filling our shirts. It's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. But no, really, we're in the series Vote C for Community. And I was thinking to myself, Halloween was last week, and I feel like after Halloween, normally we look forward to Thanksgiving. But I've seen a lot of y'all kind of doing something different this year. So we're going to change it to Vote C for Christmas. That's right. We're going to do... Okay, well, probably not really, but seriously, I've been driving around. I live in Hillsboro, even in Scappoose. There's people with Christmas lights up. If you stalk their windows, don't do this, but I did. And you'll see a Christmas tree in there that's already decorated. And I'm thinking you're gonna have to buy 3 more of those by the time Christmas comes around because they'll die. But it's definitely people have just decided that they want that joy moved forward, right? They want that season to come forward, and I totally agree. But for now, we're going to continue to be in Vote C for Community, because this season really for us is all about coming together, being unified around a common purpose, and not really getting stuck in the partisan, the back and forth, the social unrest, all those different pieces. To be able to point out those things is important, to be able to speak into them. But really, we want to be unified around one thing. And so we have a mission here at Branches, and that's to be a genuine community following Jesus. And we really believe firmly in our hearts, and Josh's going to talk about that more today, that is our purpose here on this planet. That is our time here, is to become unified as a community, genuine, honest, sharing life together, following Jesus. So we're going to continue that today with Josh's message. I'm really looking forward to it. But before we do that, we have a couple of announcements. The first is that, if you haven't heard, we have an all-hands meeting for volunteers on the 22nd. That starts at 4 p.m., it goes until 6 p.m., and there's childcare available from 2 years old to 11 years old. Now, you might be thinking, but Mike, I don't volunteer. Why are you telling me about this? If you've ever thought about volunteering, if you are interested in what it's like to be a volunteer, if you want to just see what volunteers do when they're not volunteering, this would be a good time to show up. All are welcome. If you come, we're just going to talk to you about volunteering, but it's okay. It'll be a fun time anyway. But you can RSVP for that event, and we would encourage you to do so by going to branches.tv/events. Now, speaking of volunteers, one of my favorite volunteer teams at the church is Timmy's team, which is the youth group. Now, the youth group last week, they did their Halloween party, and it was crazy. I was probably the oldest person in the building, so I left. There were just a ton of kids just all over the place. There were masks, from costumes. There were also costumes that doubled as terrifying monsters running around the building, and it was absolute chaos and so much fun, and all the kids were having a great time. And not only that, they set up an entire mini golf course in the basement. Now, that was incredible. I got to play an early release of that, and I did terribly, but I hear the kids did an amazing job with it. But I want you guys to celebrate with me something incredible that happened, because it's a team of teenagers, mostly teenagers, who then, after doing all of this chaotic party, cleaned up after themselves. Guys, the kids department, the kids department didn't have to stress. They did an amazing job of not only throwing that party for the people that were coming, but then actually being responsible afterwards. I'm not that good, so I got to start taking pointers from them. But for now, if you've got teenagers, if you've got middle schoolers, high schoolers, join them on Wednesdays. It's 5:30 and 7:30, middle schoolers, high schoolers. Other than that, we've got, I think it's Rotors Rotters today. So, that's the band. So if you all could stand up with me, and let's go ahead and worship God.
All right, guys, you ready to sing? Here we go. And through every battle, and through every heartbreak, and through every circumstance, I believe that you are my fortress, you are my portion, you are my hiding place. I believe you are the way, the truth, the light. 'Cause I believe you are the way and the truth and the light. 'Cause I believe through every blessing, through every promise, through every breath I take. 'Cause I believe you are provider, you are protector, you are the one I love. I believe you are the way, the truth, and the life. 'Cause I believe you are the way, and the truth, and the life. I believe you are. Here we go. It's a new horizon, and I'm set on you. And you meet me here today with mercies that are new. All my fears and doubts, they can all come true, because they can't stay long when I'm here with you. It's a new horizon, and I'm set on you. And you meet me here today with mercies that are new. All my fears and doubts, they can all come true, because they can't stay long. And I believe you are the way, the truth, the light. 'Cause I believe you are the way, the truth, the life. 'Cause I believe it's a new horizon, and I'm set on you. And you meet me here today with mercies that are new. All my fears and doubts, they can all come true, because they can't stay long. And I believe you are the way, the truth, the life. 'Cause I believe you are the way, the truth, and the life. 'Cause I believe you are the way. Come on, sing it out. The truth, the life. 'Cause I believe you are. Here we go. Nothing can tear us from. And nothing can tear us from the grip of His mighty love. We've only glimpsed His vast affection, heard whispers of His heart and passion. It's pouring out. His love is deep, His love is wide, and it covers us. His love is fierce, His love is strong. love is wild, and it's waking hearts to life. The Father loves and sends His Son. The Son lays down His life for the soul. He lavishes His love upon us. He calls us now His sons and daughters. He's reaching out. His love is deep, His love is wide, and it covers us. His love is fierce, His love is strong, and it's furious. Love is sweet, His love is wild, and it's waking hearts to life. Sing that again. His love is deep. His love is deep, His love is wide, and it covers us. His love is fierce, His love is strong, and it's furious. His love is sweet, His love is wild, and it's waking hearts to life. Yeah. Love is deep, His love is wide, and it covers us. His love is fierce, His love is strong, it's furious. His love is sweet, His love is wild, it's waking hearts to life. Love is deep, His love is wide, and it covers us. His love is fierce, His love is strong, and it's furious. His love is sweet, His love is wild, and it's waking hearts to life. His love is deep, His love is wide, and it covers us. His love is fierce, His love is strong, and it's furious. His love is sweet, His love is wild, and it's waking hearts to life. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, oh, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. Oh, I worship you, oh, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. Oh, I worship you, oh, I worship you. You are here, in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, you are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Hey. That is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I can see it, you're working. Even when I can feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I can feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I can feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. 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 Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper. My God. Sing that out, guys. Yeah.
Can we give it up for the worship team? I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but man, we got a great team. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hey, it's good to see you. It's good to actually see you and not just be over like a glass screen or something. It's good to see faces, masks, and all. Hey, it's just nice to see you. Well, hey, if it's your first week with us or if it's your first time with us, I just want to say welcome. We are smack dab in the middle. We are in week 6 of Vote C for Community. Who's been loving the series so far? Feeling like you're getting something out of it? Come on. Thank you, Jesus. It was my idea. Yeah, no, I wrote the whole thing. But it's pretty cool. We've actually been just running our own little campaign alongside just this election season. And think it's good to be known for what you're for. And if anything, it's better to be known for what you're for than for what you're against. And if you look at all the different candidates, they're all talking about like, hey, we're for this, we're against this, or for this, or whatever. And it kind of gives us an idea of like, who do we vote for? And so for us, we think that every good campaign starts with a mission statement. And the values, the vision, everything kind of is just used to fuel that mission. The mission is the end goal. It's kind of the thing we're trying to accomplish. And our mission for this series, and just as a church, has been this. It's been to be an authentic community following Jesus. Everything we do, every time we're trying to think of what should we do, it's like, wow, are we being an authentic community following Jesus? And 2 of those words in that mission statement can get kind of sticky. The first one is authentic. Authentic, it's hard to be authentic because authenticity breeds vulnerability. It's hard to be open, to be honest, to be vulnerable with people that you've never met because you've never met them. Like you don't know them. There's no basis for trust. And even on the other side of that coin, sometimes it's hard to be authentic with people you do know because you know them. It's like you know what they're going to think. You know what they're going to say. There's some things like maybe you just don't tell your mom or you just don't tell your dad because it's like, I know what they're going to say. Maybe they fall on the other side of the political scene from you. So it's like if I say anything, they're going to disown me. So it's hard to be authentic. It's hard to be real at times. The other one is that big C word, is community. And that's what we're basing the whole thing off of. And in community, there's the word unity, which is that last part. And unity means that you're united, you're of one mind, you're together in this, you're in unity, you're one. And that's kind of hard to be with people because we have differing opinions, we have different political ideas, we have different wants, desires, and all of those things. But I really thought it'd be important before we really go forward in the series or even this morning that we kind of look at this C word and really kind of dive into what it means. And so I looked up online because words are difficult and sometimes you fail to understand them. I thought maybe a definition would be a good spot to start. So the definition of community by Webster's is a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. And I love this first half here, a group of people living in the same place, really just doing life together. We shop at the same Fred Meyer. We have 5 places to eat in this town, and 6 of them are pizza places. Yes. But we go to the same coffee shop, Cathedral Coffee, because it's delicious. This isn't a shameless plug. I just really think it's good. But we're shoulder to shoulder. We're doing life together. And sometimes when you do that, you realize, wow, none of us are perfect. And it's kind of hard. And we're supposed to be doing life together. And even the Apostle Paul, he writes this letter to the church in a place called Ephesus. In the book of Ephesians, it's just this letter to the church. And Paul actually defines what community should look like for believers. And I want to pick it up here in verse 1 of chapter 4. Paul writes, "Therefore I, a prisoner for serving the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of your calling, for you've been called by God." It goes on, he says, "Always be humble and gentle." Okay, already that's a little hard. He says, "Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love." Pause. Who still wants to vote C for community? Because if this is what it looks like, making an allowance for each other's faults, having grace for each other. It's hard when my wife steals the cover in the middle of the bed. It's like I'm cold now, and I don't want to make an allowance for that. But we're supposed to be doing life together, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love. It goes on, make every effort to keep yourselves united. There's that unity word. United in the Spirit, binding yourself together with peace. You see, Paul understands and understood that we as people, we need community. We should be in community. God even says when he was making Adam and Eve, it's not good for man to be alone. But even in that, we should be with each other. We should be doing life with each other. And the sad thing is when you look around at this world, we don't see a whole lot of community. We should be in community and unity with each other, but in reality, we really don't want to be in community with people who are different from us. We look around, and because we're in community, because we live so closely together, and because Scappoose has a population of maybe 40 people, and they're all in this room, Because it's so small, like we kind of know each other. And it's like you can't walk through Fred Meyer's without seeing like half of everyone that you know, which is really convenient. Like, I mean, it's nice because you love each other, but it's kind of inconvenient when you're like kind of in a rush and there's like 8 people that's like, hey, how's it going? Like, and you're like, it's great. I have milk. I really got to get this over to the place. But we don't want to be in community with people who aren't like us, who don't share the same ideals as us. And when you look at this nation, you can see that it's incredibly divided. I mean, we've split the nation in half just because of political parties, because we can't get along and we can't agree on the same thing. And we've kind of done this thing that's just kind of breaks my heart when you look through social media and you'll see people post things like, if you don't think the way I do, if you don't believe the things I believe, if you don't act, talk, whatever, walk the way that I do, then I can't be your friend. And what we're saying in that is I'm drawing a line in my community. You have to be like me to be on this side. And if you're not, then I hate you. You know, there's an actual, regardless of how you feel about like the political people, whoever, like I don't care. There's an actual hashtag that says #we hate Donald Trump, which I don't care who the guy is. Fill whatever name you want in. We should never have a thing that says we hate someone, unless if you're Timmy and it's olives on pizza. That's But we've basically drawn this line in community, and then we look around and we're so divided. I heard a statistic that said that we're more divided as a nation now than we were then at the time of the Civil War. We are almost at each other's throats. And it's terrifying and it's sad because we've looked at people and now we've done this crazy thing where we're starting to exalt our own preference over the individual. I'm looking at my wants and my desires or my political preference or my things like that, and I say, you have to fit into my mold. You have to fit into my community because I've drawn this line that says you have to be like me. And if you're not like me, then I can't be with you. And then we look around and we wonder, it's like, wow, why is everybody so mad at each other? Because none of us can get along. And it breaks my heart that we have now watered down the individual, the person, and all we see is like, before I meet someone, it's like, well, what's your political preference? Like, what are your wants and what are your desires and what are the things that you like? Because I can only be a friend of you if you kind of like fit that mold. And the scary thing to me is that that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that I think that's actually a symptom of what's really been going on. You see, the thing is that we've definitely exalted our own wants, our own preferences above the individual, but we've actually done that to God. And we've looked at God and we say, God, you exist now to fit my mold and to fit the thing that I want. We have also drawn a line in the sand and said, God, you have to fit all the things that I want in order for you to be God. And it doesn't work like that. We stopped being in community with people when we exalted ourselves above them. And we have stopped being in community with God because we've exalted ourselves above him. You see, the problem isn't that we're not in community with each other. The problem is that we're not in community with God. Because now we have become our own God. We've made our God our vote. We've made our God the thing that we want to have at number one in our lives, because the thing that is number one on the throne in our life is whatever our God is. Have you ever buttoned up a shirt before? The only reason I say this is because I know I'm in Scappoose, and most button-ups aren't Carhartt or camouflage. But buttoning up a shirt, I'm not trying to offend anybody, I really promise. There's like 3 people with Carhartt, like, huh. All of a sudden, I don't like this guy. Usually when you're getting dressed, it's in the morning, hopefully. You do that before you go outside. And when it's in the morning, sometimes it's dark, sometimes you're just like tired and you're putting your shirt on. And I don't like to start at the bottom button because I'm overwhelmed by the amount of buttons. And I feel like we're just like adding more and more buttons. I mean, I just really need like 3, I think. But I don't start at the bottom one because it's just too much. So I start at the top one. Actually, not the top one because I don't want to choke and die, so I use the next one down. But you start at this top one, and have you ever like gone to do this and you miss by like 1? Not a lot, just 1. You're tired, it's fine. You haven't had your coffee, cathedral's not open yet, that's cool. But you miss it by 1, and all of a sudden you start to button up your shirt, and it just kind of like, and you're like walking around funny, and you're like, you guys smell something? Like something just doesn't feel right. And you put your jacket on and it just like doesn't fit right. And you're like, oh my gosh, like something isn't right. And the problem was you missed the top button. And yeah, that's not as much of a distance as here to here, but because we missed the one, every single button that comes after that, you're gonna miss. And it's the same thing with God. If God isn't first, then everything that comes after is gonna be misaligned. Because God needs to be first. The problem right now, because we have chosen to exalt ourselves above God, is we've created a gap between us and God. So the problem isn't we're not in community with each other. It's because we're not in community with God. Because we're not in community with God, now we have this gap, and we're trying to fill it with whatever we can. We see problems going on, and it's like, man, I just need more money. Man, if I just had that relationship, or if I had that promotion, or if I had this thing, or whatever I could do, I just need to fill this thing. And we use relationship, we use work, we use substances. We drink to forget. Or I use to forget because I just can't deal with the pain that's going on right now. I'm just trying to fit whatever I can in this mold. Babies are dumb. Let me rephrase that. Babies are uneducated. There's like 6 moms that are like, let me explain. Babies are uneducated. Babies don't know because they're babies. If you're uneducated, it's probably because you went to Scappoose. I graduated from there, so all right. Barely. But babies are just kind of uneducated, and it's cute. And you watch them play with that Shapes toy where they're learning, like the triangle goes in the triangle, and the circle goes in the circle, and all those things. Have you ever watched them play with that toy? It's hilarious because they have no idea what's going on. It's like they grab the square, and they look at the triangle, and they're like, yeah, those have the same angles. And they like go to push it, and it doesn't work. And there's like a minute of like disbelief where they're like, oh my goodness. And so they like flip it upside down, and they're like, there it is. And the baby doesn't know that an upside down square is a square. So it's like, baby, that's not where that goes. And they're trying to push it in here, and then they kind of get that like little frustrated where they're like, why is this not? And they start like punching it in here and slamming it, and like, that didn't fit. And so they kind of throw it away, and they grab the circle, and they're looking at the triangle, and they're trying to fit the circle in the triangle. And now they're like upset and they're crying because this thing isn't supposed to fit, and it's supposed to fit the hole and it's not. And then they're yelling at their parents like, you gave me the wrong ideas. You gave me the wrong perspective. They look at God and they're like, God, you gave me the wrong things. Like, I mean, do you see what's going on? Like, this is supposed to fix it. And they're trying and they're pushing and it's not working. And they wonder why it's empty. And we as a people are going through our lives and we're stressed out of our minds. And we're trying to shovel whatever we can into trying, like, man, I just need more money. Or I need more of this, or I need more of whatever. And we're trying to fill this gap that no amount of this can fill it. And we're trying our hardest just to get this hole filled. And then we're wondering, why is this not working? And you see, people, we're a little bit stronger than babies. I mean, maybe not Timmy. Most of us are stronger than babies. He is going to rip me to shreds next week. But what we do is when we try to push through, we push so hard that we end up breaking it and forcing it to fit. And then when it falls through, we're left with a bigger hole than what we started with. You see, it's because these things were never meant to fill us. Money cannot satisfy you. Things, stuff, cannot satisfy you. Anything that this world has to offer you cannot, will not satisfy you, and it will leave you wanting and needing more. You see, we've become this group of people, this nation, that is trying to grab for relief when what we need is restoration. We've been trying to grab for a Band-Aid to try and treat the symptom, when what we need to do is look at the problem and fill it with the solution. And that's Jesus. We'll be left empty and broken every time. It's kind of like we're trying to hold ourselves together with glue and duct tape. You guys know that saying? Like, duct tape and a hammer fixes everything, except emotional problems. And we're trying to fix everything together, and we're like holding it together, and we're using all the glue and all the duct tape that we can find, when in reality, Jesus died on a cross to put us together with nails and a hammer. You see, another thing is we kind of want the restoration that we hear about. We want the restoration that God brings, but I don't want to put the work in to receive it. I don't want to pay the price to receive it. I don't want to die to myself. I don't want to put myself as not first because I'm afraid of what the outcome would be. So I go back to finding whatever I can to fill this thing. And we're left empty, and we're left broken, and we don't understand why. You see, because this world will give you temporary peace. It will give you things that will kind of give you peace for a little bit, but it's not going to last. And there's this amazing scripture. Jesus, he He dies on a cross. He's dead for 3 days, and he's resurrected on the third day. And he starts to appear to his disciples. And he starts talking about this beautiful place that he's going to. He's like, hey, I'm going to go make a house. It's going to be awesome. You're all invited. It's going to be great. And I'm going to come back for you. And Thomas, there's this disciple that he asked Jesus, he's like, this is dope. Like, I want to get there. How do I get to you? How do I find where you're going? Because I have no idea how to get there. And Jesus, he says this in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 6. He says, Jesus answered, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. And that no one gets to the Father except through me. And church, it breaks my heart because we are trying so desperately to fill this void in us, to fill this void in our community and our nation. There's no bill that we can pass that will bring restoration. There is no person that we can elect that will bring restoration. I hate to burst your bubble. There is no political party that's going to bring restoration. There is no amount of money that is going to bring restoration. There is no thing or job or anything that we can do that is going to fulfill us. We need Jesus. End of story. I'm going to be really vulnerable for a minute. And this is probably going to sound really dumb to some of you that are cat people, but you need Jesus anyway. Thank you. I've never had my own dog before. I mean, I did, like, growing up, I had, like, the family dog, and he was great, but, like, when I was a kid, I'm like, dogs smell and are kind of gross, and they get on you, and it's just like, oh, and they lick you, and it's just gross. And I don't even really like other people's dogs that much. It's hard for me to, like, be nice to someone else's dog, because I'm like, no, you stink. Sorry. Like, you just stink. But my wife, when we got married, we were like, we really want to get a puppy. And we were kind of looking at different breeds, and I love golden retrievers. I just think that they're super cute dogs. And so my wife and I, we ended up going and buying this golden retriever puppy. He was 3 months old. He was like this big, and it was so cute because we had a name picked out already. We were going to call him Toby because, hello, best golden retriever name ever. But we wanted this like little dog, and we were trying to figure out, it was also the hardest experience of your life, going and getting a puppy. Just prep yourself because you're basically stealing a dog's baby. And they're like, like the mom was looking at us the whole time like, you're going to take him? You're just going to take him? Like, you're going to leave it? You're going to take him from me? And we got to this place, and we had to pick from one of two little dogs. And this dog runs out of the car and starts, like, biting my shoes. And at first I'm like, you jerk? Like, what are you doing? And then he's kind of, like, doing the thing where he's, like, just being cute. And you're like, all right, you're okay. And I'm, like, trying to untie my shoe. And then he grabs the other one. And I'm like, you're the one. I'm taking you. And so we take him, and it's super cute. And he's, like, looking at us the whole ride home. And we go for a walk, and it's great. The thing about puppies, though, is that they get really big really fast. And my wife and I, we live in this apartment, and I didn't see that when we signed the lease for the pet agreement, the dog can't get bigger than 15 pounds. Put him on my diet. But he got to be well over 15 pounds very fast. And I was taking him out for a walk one day, and our landlord kind of saw us, and he's like, is that the same dog? And I'm proud, like, yeah, it's the same dog. He's huge. And he's like, okay, that's cool. And the next day, we got this letter on our door that said, you have to get rid of your puppy. You have to give him away, or you have to move out. And we didn't know what to do. So we started looking around for places to move to, places to leave, and our lease wasn't up yet, so we'd be breaking our lease, and we were just like thinking the smart decision would be that we have to give him away. And so we found this great family that was a Marine veteran that we ended up giving him away to, but he was my boy. He was my dog. And it's stupid because, like, it's an animal, Josh, like, get over it. Like, I get it. Like, I understand. But there was, like, when you're giving him away, it's like a piece of you that you're kind of giving away. Because you're raising him, and, like, sometimes he was a jerk, and that's fine. But, like, I loved him, and he was my dog, man. And, like, the day that we gave him away, and he's like a puppy. He doesn't know. The family has kids, and so it's, like, really, it's a great story. Someone should write a book. But he, like, hops in their car, and they drive off. and I just like lose it. And I'm the emotional wreck out of our relationship. I'm just like, I get a prick on my finger and I need to go to the hospital. And so my wife and I, we go to Freddy's because I'm dying. And we got these stupid little like steel spoons and like gallons of ice cream because everybody knows like duct tape and hammer can fix any kind of problem and ice cream fixes emotional problems. And so we are sitting on our couch. I'm crying and I'm a mess and we're watching Gilmore Girls. I'm married, so don't judge me. I love that show. And I'm crying into my ice cream, just like losing it. And it's really bad if I'm eating ice cream because I'm lactose intolerant. Pray for my wife. And I'm eating this ice cream, and you know what? For a minute, I felt a little better. For a minute, and then afterwards, I felt really, really bad. But for a while, like sitting here, like this is okay. It's kind of masking the pain. It was working for a little bit. But I woke up the next day, and I didn't have the ice cream. I didn't have the TV. We weren't robbed. I just ate it, and we weren't watching it. But I woke up, and you know what was there? It was that pain again. And that hurt, man, like it hurt. And I didn't know what to do except to get on my face and just cry and ask God. I'm like, you need to come and do something. Because I know that there's nothing that I can go to. There's nothing I can grab that is going to give me eternal peace. That's going to give me satisfaction. Because anything I go to is going to give me peace for a time, but it's going to wear off. And we may look around and maybe for the next 4 years, the world got what it's want. Like, that's fine. Like, we'll have peace for a time, but it's not going to last. And I don't want to be someone in this community who is just trying to fill whatever I can so that I can be filled. We need Jesus. You know what my prayer and my heart is? And please don't throw rocks at me because you might hit Dustin or someone behind me. We love them. I really hope that whatever you're going to, that is your Band-Aid, that is kind of giving you that little temporary peace. I pray and I hope that the peace you receive from it is so fleeting. I pray that it doesn't last, because my heart is that not one of us would get to the end of this life living off of counterfeit, off-brand peace, and we get to heaven and we realize that we were sold a fake. I pray that whatever you're going to, I pray that it doesn't last, and that you would be back broken, wondering what to do, and that you would go to God, that you would go to Jesus. Because here's the thing, Vote C for community, we will never be in community with each other until we are in community with God. This won't last. None of it will, unless we get right with God, unless we get the top button first. And here's the great thing, is that the peace of the Lord is eternal, and it surpasses all understanding, and it's not what the world gives. It's not fleeting. It withstands every circumstance. It can take any pressure. It stands strong through any stress, any anxiety. The love of God, the mercy of God, the restoration of God is not circumstantial or conditional. It's free, and He loves you, and He has it for you. You guys want to stand? We're just going to sing one last song. Community is hard, man. It's not easy. It takes work. It takes sacrifice. But it's possible. And my heart is that we would be an authentic community, not just following Jesus, but seeking Jesus. That we wouldn't just be walking after Him, but that we'd be running after Him. That we'd be looking at the people around us saying, there's a peace that you don't understand that I have. There is a joy that I have that you may not understand, and it's not in who I voted for. It's not in what the condition of our social state is. Because everything could burn to the ground, and you know what? God still remains. At the end of this world, everything is going to fade, but Christ remains. So dear God, this morning we just come to you. God, and we just say, Lord, would you just be the foundation that we build our lives on? God, regardless of whatever political outcome, whatever thing is around us, Lord, I just pray that we would look to you first. God, I pray for our elected official. Lord, I pray that you would speak to them. God, I pray that if they don't know you, they would know you. God, I pray that you would give this nation peace, God, that we would know that you're still on the throne. God, and for this church, God, I just pray that you would help us to be that authentic community that's following after you. Lord, I pray that you would help us to wake up and realize our need for you, oh God. Lord, I pray that we would be seekers of you. God, seekers of your peace. God, seekers of your truth. God, seekers of your mercy and your grace. Lord, I pray that you just reveal yourself to us, Lord, that we may know you, God, that we may see you. God, take the blinders off our eyes. God, that we wouldn't try to find restoration and peace in temporary things, but God, that we would look to you and only you. God, we give you all the glory. God, we give you all the peace. Lord, I thank you for the cross. Lord, I just pray you come and change us in Jesus' mighty name. Come on, let's sing this last song.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is no beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those
God, we just pray for today that you could abide in us, that we could find fullness of joy within you and nothing else, God. God, we want to find a friend in you and find an enemy in the world. God, be the light for our feet throughout this week and throughout our lives. And we just pray that you stay with us. Amen. All right, guys, we love you. We hope you have a good week. If you guys need prayer room's open. I'll be in there, but otherwise, see you soon.